There's a quiet truth that most of humanity has overlooked. We're not trapped inside reality. We're simply repeating the same frequency. You see, that we've been taught since childhood that manifestation is about effort. We're told to visualize harder, to write affirmations every morning, to hold the image in our mind until the universe finally delivers. But time doesn't deliver anything. Time only mirrors the vibration you are sending right now. And if, in this moment, you are waiting for something to arrive, the universe can only give you more of that waiting, because waiting is a vibration too. Manifestation was never meant to be a technique. It's not a ritual. It's not a task. It's a state of being. It's not "I will have it." It's "I already am it." When you understand that, something deep inside begins to soften. The chasing stops. The effort starts to feel unnecessary, even strange. It's like realizing that the river you've been struggling to swim upstream against was always flowing in your direction. For most of us, reality has become a kind of mirror that we don't know we're looking into. We see lack, and we call it destiny. We feel delay, and we call it divine timing. But what's really happening is much simpler. We are broadcasting the signal of distance. Every thought charged with desire says, "It's not here yet." Every time we visualize as if something is coming, we quietly tell the quantum field, "I am separate from it." And the field, always faithful, reflects that separation back to us with perfect precision. You're not manifesting the thing you want. You're manifesting the version of you who believes it's still missing. And that version of you can wait forever. The real key isn't time, it's coherence. The universe doesn't respond to the clock on your wall. It responds to the harmony between your mind, your body, and your emotional frequency. When those three are in alignment, reality bends immediately. Think of coherence like tuning an instrument. If your strings are even slightly off, the sound wobbles. It distorts. But when they vibrate in harmony, the music becomes effortless, pure, immediate, alive. You don't have to try to make it sound beautiful. It just does. That's how manifestation truly works. The universe isn't waiting to reward your effort. It's responding to your harmony. This is why the feeling of effort often slows everything down. When you're trying hard to attract something, you're announcing to the field that it's not already yours. But when you relax into trust, when you breathe as if it's already done, your frequency stabilizes, and a stable frequency collapses reality faster than any amount of effort ever could. Here's the paradox. The more you chase, the slower things move. The more still you become, the faster life rearranges itself around you. You don't speed up creation by pushing. You accelerate it by surrendering. Because surrender is not giving up. It's giving permission. It's the vibration of faith made visible. Think of the seed in the soil. It doesn't strain to become a tree. It simply allows the code that already exists within it to unfold. That's what you are, a divine seed of consciousness, already encoded with the timeline you're asking for. The moment you stop interfering, it starts to bloom. Most people think manifestation is a process of attracting, of pulling things toward you like a magnet. But quantum reality doesn't work that way. It's not about pulling, it's about tuning. You don't attract what you want. You resonate with what already exists. Every possible version of your life is happening simultaneously, layered in the quantum field like overlapping radio stations. You don't have to create the frequency. You just have to dial into it. And once you do, what matches that signal must appear. Not over time, but in alignment. That alignment happens the moment your energy stops contradicting itself. The moment you no longer oscillate between "I believe" and "I doubt," between "I trust" and "I fear." When your vibration becomes consistent, reality has no choice but to collapse in your favor. The mind loves to measure progress. It wants to see steps, timelines, evidence. But consciousness doesn't move in steps. It jumps. It shifts from one frequency to another in an instant. Just as light jumps from wave to particle, When observed, observation, in the quantum sense, doesn't mean looking at something, it means being something. The moment you become the observer who no longer searches for proof, but radiates from knowing, that's when collapse happens. The wave becomes form. The dream becomes memory. The imagined becomes obvious. You might wonder, how does that actually feel? It feels like peace, not the peace of boredom or resignation, but the peace of deep certainty. It feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years, like realizing the ocean has always been carrying you, even when you thought you were drowning. When that peace settles into your body, your nervous system begins to tell a new story. Your breath slows, your posture opens, your voice carries quiet confidence. You stop vibrating at the frequency of almost there and start embodying the frequency of already done. And that, right there, is when life responds fast. Because coherence isn't mental, it's emotional. It's the body saying yes to the timeline your mind used to doubt. The quantum field doesn't understand words, it only speaks emotion. And emotion is the electric current that tells the universe what to become. That's why gratitude is so powerful. Not because it's polite, but because it's precise. Gratitude tells the field, I have already received, and the universe, unable to contradict that signal, collapses accordingly. It's the same reason a single moment of real trust can move mountains faster than years of anxious effort. Trust is pure coherence. It's the sound of your soul remembering that it's already whole. When you live from that remembrance, you don't just manifest faster, you stop needing to manifest at all. Because the version of you who needs something no longer exists. You become the version who knows. And knowing doesn't chase, it allows. There's a phrase I often return to: speed is a state of being. It doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less, but with complete alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and body are all singing the same note, reality responds like a perfect echo. You think it, you feel it, you live it, and the world nods back instantly. Time, then, is not an obstacle. It's simply the measure of how long it takes your vibration to stop contradicting your desire. And when that contradiction ends, time collapses. What used to take months begins to unfold overnight. What felt far away starts to appear effortlessly, like a door you didn't realize was already unlocked. So, perhaps it's not about becoming more powerful. Perhaps it's about stopping the version of you that believes it takes time. Because when that belief dissolves, the waiting dissolves with it. Not because the universe suddenly speeds up, but because you've stopped slowing it down. Manifestation isn't about making the future happen. It's about allowing the future to remember you. You're not walking toward it, it's collapsing into you. And the moment you feel that truth in your body, the entire rhythm of life changes. It becomes quieter, softer, more precise. You begin to notice synchronicities, the right people, the right moments, showing up with almost impossible timing. And you realize it was never coincidence. It was coherence. So tonight, before you sleep, don't try to visualize harder. Don't try to control the outcome. Just ask yourself one gentle question. What would it feel like if it were already done? Then breathe into that feeling. Let it fill your chest, your heartbeat, your skin. Let it become your baseline, your new normal. And as you rest there, understand this. The universe isn't coming to meet you someday. It's responding to you now. You are the signal. You are the field. And you've never been waiting, only remembering. Speed is not movement. Speed is alignment. And alignment is who you already are. 1. The greatest misunderstanding about manifesting. Most people believe they are creating something new when they manifest, as if they are building reality brick by brick through the power of thought. But the truth is much quieter and infinitely more beautiful. You are not creating, you are choosing. You are selecting one possibility from an ocean of infinite possibilities that already exist in the quantum field. Every potential version of your life is already vibrating somewhere in that vast field of consciousness. Nothing is missing. Nothing needs to be built. The universe is complete. The only thing that shifts is your alignment with what is already there. When you say, "I want," the universe doesn't hear desire, it hears separation. The vibration behind those words quietly announces, "It's not here yet." And that single frequency keeps you bound to the reality of not having profits. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle tension in the chest when you hope too hard. The longing, the waiting, the whisper that says, "Maybe one day." That is not creation. That is postponement. The energy of wanting always reinforces the gap between you and what you seek. The more you desire, the more you vibrate with the absence of what you desire. In quantum reality, you are not a painter staring at a blank canvas, trying to imagine a picture into existence. You are standing in a gallery where every painting has already been completed, some filled with joy, some with fear, some with abundance, some with lack. The only question is, which painting will you step into? Which frequency will you claim as your own? The act of manifestation is not about painting faster or better. It's about recognizing that you were never outside the art in the first place. This misunderstanding, the belief that manifestation is about making something happen, has kept humanity in a loop of frustration. We visualize, we affirm, we write in journals, but deep down, our vibration whispers, "I'm still waiting." And so the field reflects that perfectly. Not because it is cruel, but because it is precise. The universe doesn't interpret your words. It reads your energy. It responds not to your wishes, but to your being. Every moment you declare, "I want," you are subtly placing your happiness in the future. You are training your nervous system to feel incomplete until something changes. And in that state of incompleteness, you are blind to the infinite wholeness that already surrounds you. Manifestation, in its truest form, was never about reaching for something outside yourself. It was always about remembering the completeness within you, the frequency of wholeness that has been waiting patiently beneath all your striving. Think of a radio. The station you wish to hear is already broadcasting. You don't create the signal by twisting the dial. You simply align yourself with it. That's what manifestation is. Alignment, not pursuit. The moment you tune to the frequency of love, love starts to fill your experience, not because it arrived, but because you finally stopped resisting it. The moment you tune to the frequency of abundance, opportunities start to appear, not because they were sent to you, but because you became coherent with what was always available. You are not chasing after your reality. You are calling it forth by being it. But being it requires the courage to stop wanting, to stop vibrating as the one who is waiting, to stop telling the story that something is missing. That's the hardest part, isn't it? Because the ego loves to measure, to plan, to fix, to improve. It believes it must do something to deserve peace. But peace is never earned. It is remembered. When you drop the vibration of "I want," what arises instead is a quiet knowing, a subtle sense that it's already done. That sense doesn't come with fireworks or music. It comes like a deep exhale after years of holding your breath. Suddenly, you no longer feel like you are manifesting anything. You are simply allowing what has always belonged to you to appear in the visible. It's the same feeling you get when you stop searching for your glasses and realize they were on your head the entire time. The moment you stop looking, you see clearly. The truth is, creation never happens in the future. It unfolds in the now. The now is not a stepping stone on the way to your manifestation. It is the only place where the field responds. Every thought, every breath, every feeling is a signal collapsing probabilities into form. And when that signal says, "I already am," Reality organizes itself with breathtaking precision to confirm it. But when your signal says, "I will be," it organizes itself around waiting, effort, and delay. This is why the greatest spiritual teachers have always said you cannot serve two masters. You cannot vibrate at lack and expect abundance. You cannot live in anticipation and expect peace. You must choose which world you wish to inhabit, the one of striving or the one of being. The universe has no bias. It simply mirrors your choice. In my own journey, this was the hardest lesson to learn. I spent years trying to manifest my way out of pain, thinking if I visualized enough, I could escape the darkness. But every affirmation was secretly saying, "I am not whole yet." Every meditation carried the energy of, "I must change." And the more I tried to change, the more the universe gave me mirrors of struggle. It wasn't until I surrendered, until I stopped trying to fix myself, that the field shifted. The moment I felt peace before anything changed, everything began to change. You see, manifestation isn't a ladder you climb to reach heaven. It's a remembering that heaven has always been beneath your feet. The moment you stop demanding that the world become different, it starts to transform. Because transformation is not something you do, it's something you allow. It's not about thinking better thoughts. It's about feeling from the wholeness that already exists. When you wake up in the morning, notice the subtle impulse to start wanting again, to want a better day, more money, a new experience. Notice how quickly the mind reaches outward. Then, take a breath and remind yourself, everything I want already exists. I am simply aligning with it. Let that sentence sink into your body like warm sunlight. You'll feel the shift from reaching to receiving, from tension to trust. The moment you stop wanting, you don't lose your dreams. You finally meet them, because they were never outside of you. They were always echoes of your own expanded self, calling you home. And when you answer that call, not with force, but with quiet permission, you become magnetic without trying. People, opportunities, synchronicities begin to appear, not as rewards, but as reflections of your coherence. So, the next time you find yourself saying, "I want," pause for a moment. Listen to the vibration beneath those words. Ask yourself gently, "What if I already am?" And then let that possibility settle in your bones. Let your breath slow down. Feel the weight of effort begin to melt. Because in that moment, that still, effortless moment, you are no longer creating from lack. You are creating from truth. And truth doesn't wait. It simply is. The universe doesn't respond to the one who wants, it responds to the one who knows. And that knowing, that quiet inner certainty, is the greatest manifestation there is. 2. Time is not a path, but a mirror. There comes a point on this journey when you realize that time has never really been what you thought it was. You've been walking through days and nights believing that life unfolds in straight lines, that there is a past you are leaving behind, a present you are moving through, and a future waiting patiently ahead. But the universe does not travel that way. Time, as we know it, isn't a road that carries us forward. It is a reflection that bends to the rhythm of our own vibration. It shows us who we are being, not where we are going. In truth, there is no later. The future isn't a destination sitting across the horizon. It is a mirror, reflecting the coherence or the conflict within us. Coherence is the harmony between mind, emotion, and body. It's when what you think, what you feel, and how you move all hum the same quiet note. When that happens, life begins to flow with a kind of precision that defies logic. Things don't take time anymore. They simply appear in alignment with the frequency you hold. You can feel the difference between coherence and separation in the smallest moments. When your mind says, "I'm ready," but your heart whispers, "I'm afraid." The body tenses. You notice the shoulders lift, the breath shallow, The jaw tighten. That is incoherence, the signal of mixed frequencies. The field around you doesn't judge that signal. It simply mirrors it. So instead of flow, you experience friction. Instead of clarity, delay. But when all parts of you agree, when your thought and emotion breathe together like two instruments, playing the same song, reality responds instantly. This is why manifestation often feels slow, not because the universe is ignoring you, but because your signal is contradictory. Time stretches when coherence breaks. It's like trying to tune a piano. With trembling hands, every note wavers, and the melody takes longer to emerge. But once you steady yourself, once your hands move with calm precision, the sound aligns. That alignment is timeless. It doesn't require patience, only presence. The human mind loves to measure progress. It needs the comfort of not yet, the security of someday, but life doesn't wait for your calendar. It listens to your vibration now. Every "when will it happen" is a declaration of distance. Every "I trust it's coming quietly" says, it's not here. But when you stop asking when you settle into the stillness of now, the universe answers right here. Think about how a mirror works. It never delays its reflection. The image it gives you is instant. If you smile, the mirror doesn't need a moment to adjust. It smiles back immediately. The same is true of the universe. It reflects your frequency in real time. The only reason you experience delay is because your reflection keeps changing. You smile, then frown, then question, then hope. Each shift alters the image you see. Coherence, then, is not about intensity. It's about stability. It's holding the same inner vibration long enough for reality to recognize it as truth. When you reach that kind of stability, time bends. What once felt far away begins to move toward you. Synchronicities multiply. Conversations fall into place as if rehearsed by a greater hand. Opportunities that used to require years of planning simply unfold with grace. It's not magic, it's coherence. The more aligned you are, the less time is required, because time, at its core, is not an external clock. It's the distance between belief and embodiment. I learned this lesson in the most ordinary way. Years ago, I kept asking life for healing, for peace, after long seasons of struggle. I practiced every technique I could find. I tried to trust the timing, but beneath those words was a quiet impatience. I wanted proof. I wanted to know when. And life, faithful as always, mirrored that back to me. More waiting, more searching, more someday. It wasn't until I stopped counting the days and simply sat with the breath in my chest that everything shifted. When I no longer needed healing to arrive, peace did. Instantly, not because time passed, but because I stopped standing in the way of now. This is what happens when you move from asking to allowing. You step out of time's illusion. You start to live in resonance instead of sequence. And resonance has no delay. It doesn't say, later. It says, now. The very moment you embody a vibration, the universe reflects it. It can't. Not that's the law of coherence. Sometimes people ask, how do I make things happen faster? And I smile. Because that question itself slows everything down. The need for speed is the need to escape the present moment. And yet the present is the only place creation can occur. Time isn't something you conquer. It's something you align with. It's not a race to the future. It's an unfolding of the now. As you learn to stay steady in your frequency, the irony is that when you stop trying to accelerate life, it accelerates for you. When you relax into trust, events rearrange themselves effortlessly. The relationships, the opportunities, the healing, they all appear in the exact rhythm that matches your inner stillness. Time, like a faithful servant, follows the command of coherence. When you are fragmented, it stretches. When you are whole, It dissolves. If you want to feel this truth, try this. Sit in silence for a moment and stop measuring, stop counting minutes, months, or milestones. Instead, feel your breath as a pulse of eternity expanding, contracting. Without hurry, notice how the mind wants to label it. I'm meditating. I'm waiting. I'm doing. Let all of that fall away. Beneath the thoughts, there's a rhythm that never changes, the rhythm of being. That rhythm is outside time. When you rest there, you touch the eternal now. And from that now, creation happens instantly. The universe isn't keeping you from what you desire. It's mirroring your relationship with time. If you are impatient, it shows you more waiting. If you are peaceful, it shows you the speed of grace. The outer world bends to match your inner tempo. So when life feels slow, don't push harder, breathe deeper. Because every breath taken in presence closes the gap between you and everything you're asking for. When you master coherence, you no longer chase alignment. You become it. And once you become it, time begins to obey you. It starts folding itself around your frequency like light bending through a crystal. You see this in the small miracles, the message that arrives at the perfect moment, the door that opens before you even knock. It's not coincidence. It's resonance made visible. So perhaps time has never been a river carrying us forward. Perhaps it has always been a mirror, waiting for us to recognize our own reflection. When your mind, heart, and body finally agree on who you are, the mirror becomes clear. You look into the world and, for the first time, see no delay between cause and effect, only the dance of coherence echoing itself back. And in that moment, you understand the simplest truth of all: the universe was never asking you to wait. It was waiting for you to arrive, not in time, but in presence. 3. Emotion is the language of creation. There's a tenderness in the truth that emotion speaks louder than thought ever could. The mind points the way. Yes, it gives structure and direction, but it's the heart that turns potential into reality. Thought alone is like a map without a traveler. Emotion is what moves you along the road. It's the voltage that electrifies the field and tells the quantum waves, collapse into this form. Without emotion, a thought remains an echo, a blueprint waiting for current. The universe doesn't speak English, or Vietnamese, or any human tongue. It speaks vibration, and vibration is nothing more than emotion in motion. What you feel is the signal you're broadcasting to the field. Every pulse of joy, every current of fear, every quiet moment of peace sends a message. That message doesn't pass through your words. It travels through your frequency. You can say "I'm abundant" 1,000 times. But if your body trembles in scarcity, the universe only hears that tremble. It took me years to understand this, because I was raised to believe emotion was something to manage, to control, even to suppress. I thought calm meant pretending I was fine. I thought power meant never feeling afraid. But in that denial, I dulled my own signal. I became static, alive, but not transmitting. And so life responded with noise, confusion, mixed results, because the field cannot mirror a muffled heart. Then one day, something simple changed. I stopped trying to feel right and began allowing myself to feel real. That shift from controlling emotion to befriending it was the moment my world began to respond. You see, the field doesn't punish low vibrations. It simply amplifies whatever you are. When you feel fear and fight it, you feed it. But when you feel fear and breathe with it, the signal begins to soften. The vibration becomes coherent again. Coherence isn't about being joyful all the time. It's about being honest all the time. Because truth, even when it hurts, is alignment. Gratitude is the clearest proof of this law. A single moment of genuine gratitude can rewire the nervous system faster than weeks of affirmation. Gratitude doesn't come from the mind. It comes from the body, that soft warmth in the chest, that deep breath, that says, yes, this is enough. Gratitude is the emotional signature of completion. It tells the universe, I have received, and the universe, ever responsive, mirrors that reality instantly. When you live from gratitude, you're not waiting for blessings. You are being the blessing. You become a frequency that magnetizes experiences of harmony and abundance. That's why so many who seem lucky aren't forcing outcomes. They're simply living in a steady state of appreciation. Their gratitude isn't a reaction to life's gifts, it's the reason life keeps gifting them. Emotion shapes matter, not through intensity, but through consistency. You don't need to feel ecstasy all day long. You only need to return, again and again, to the emotion that matches the world you wish to experience. That's what trains your field. Each time you breathe into calm instead of panic, you are teaching your cells a new language. Each time you choose compassion over judgment, your vibration becomes clearer. Every small act of emotional coherence rewires the story your body tells the universe. Because emotion doesn't lie. The body is the truth teller of the soul. You can speak affirmations while your heart trembles, but your body knows. It always knows. It feels the gap between what you say and what you mean. And the universe, that grand mirror, listens to the body first. The field hears through the skin, through the breath, through the heartbeat. It reads the language beneath the words. So, the real work is not to think better thoughts, but to feel clearer feelings, to stop using the mind as a shield and let the heart translate your true frequency. The mind sets intention, but emotion seals it. It's the emotional charge behind a thought that gives it gravity, that bends reality around it. That's why prayers said in desperation often bring more desperation. They carry the frequency of lack, but a whisper of faith, offered in peace, collapses possibilities instantly. When I began to live this truth, I noticed something strange. The things I used to chase started arriving on their own. The right people, the perfect timing, opportunities that felt effortless. It wasn't that I became more powerful, I simply became more precise. My frequency stopped wobbling between wanting and fearing, between effort and surrender. Emotion was no longer a storm I had to survive, it was wind in my sails. And I learned that feeling isn't weakness, it's intelligence. Emotion is the most sophisticated navigation system we have. Joy tells you when you are in alignment. Resistance tells you when you are off course. Every emotion is feedback from the field, a gentle signal saying, "Here this way." When you begin to honor those signals, life stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a conversation. Let me put it this way. Thoughts are the questions you ask the universe. Emotions are the answers you receive. When you think, "Can I trust this path?" and feel peace in your chest, that peace is the answer. When you wonder, "Am I forcing this?" and feel tension in your stomach, that tension is the guidance. The universe speaks through feeling because feeling bypasses the mind's resistance. Emotion doesn't need to be analyzed. It needs to be felt. The mistake many make is believing they have to fix negative emotion before they can manifest. But emotion isn't the enemy. Suppression is. Imagine the ocean trying to stay calm forever. Impossible. Waves are part of its beauty. In the same way, your emotions are movement, evidence that your energy is alive. When you allow each wave to rise and fall without judgment, coherence returns on its own. The calm after the wave is deeper than any forced stillness. And this, I think, is the great secret of creation. Emotion doesn't just express your reality, it builds it. Every genuine feeling is a brushstroke, painting your world. If you paint with fear, your days become narrow and gray. If you paint with trust, color returns. You can't fake the pigment. You must feel it in your bones. That's why pretending to be happy never works. The field can sense the performance, but a single breath of authentic relief, a sincere sigh that says, "I don't have to control this anymore," carries more creative power than 100 forced smiles. Emotion is the soul's handwriting on the surface of time. When your heart writes peace, time slows to hold it. When your heart writes gratitude, life hurries to echo it. You are never punished for how you feel. You are simply mirrored. And that mirror, kind and precise, will always show you the frequency you're emitting. So when life feels heavy, don't ask, "What am I doing wrong?" Ask, "What am I feeling right now?" That question alone can shift everything. Because the moment you acknowledge your feeling, you bring light to it. And light, in the language of the universe, is always healing. In the end, emotion is not just the language of creation, it is the voice of remembrance. It's how your soul calls itself home. Every time you feel deeply, not reactively, but consciously, you remember your role as co-creator. You remember that the field is not out there. It's responding here, within your chest, in the silent pulse of your being. The universe doesn't listen to what you say. It listens to what you feel. And when what you feel becomes coherent with love, everything you've been trying to build through thought alone begins to unfold effortlessly. Not because you commanded it, but because you spoke in the only language the cosmos truly understands, the language of the heart. 4. The body, the instrument of the soul. There's a quiet truth that hides in plain sight. Your body has always known the language of the universe better than your mind ever will. We've been taught to manifest through thought, to visualize, to imagine, to focus our mental energy, yet we forget that thought is only the sheet music, the sound, the vibration. The resonance of that music can only come through the body. The body is the instrument of the soul, the living string that turns frequency into form. Without it, your intentions remain silent, beautiful in design, but unheard in the field of creation. Most people try to manifest from the neck up. They think about abundance while their stomach tightens in fear. They visualize love while their shoulders curl inward from old heartbreak. They speak affirmations while their breath remains shallow and rushed. And then they wonder why nothing shifts. But how could the universe respond to a signal that's fractured? The body and mind must sing the same note for reality to harmonize. Your body is not just a vessel that carries consciousness, it's an antenna that broadcasts it. Every breath, every movement, every posture sends a message to the field about who you believe you are. When you stand tall, when your breath flows easily, when your voice carries steadiness, you are broadcasting a frequency of trust. You are saying to the universe, "I am safe here. I am ready now." And the field, ever precise, begins to rearrange itself around that signal. It took me a long time to understand that my body wasn't betraying me. It was translating me. The tremors of anxiety, the heaviness of grief, the racing heart, they weren't problems to fix. They were messages. The body doesn't lie. It reflects the vibration you've been living in, more honestly than your words ever could. And that's not something to fear. It's something to listen to, because the body doesn't just store trauma, it also stores memory of wholeness. Underneath every layer of tension lies a natural rhythm, the rhythm of trust, of ease, of being. When you reconnect with that rhythm, you stop sending mixed signals. You stop asking for one thing while embodying another. The field no longer has to guess what you mean. It hears you clearly. Try this for a moment. Imagine the version of yourself who already has what you've been calling in. Don't think about what they're doing, feel how they move. How do they breathe? How do they walk into a room? How do they rest? You'll notice something subtle. They are relaxed, not passive, but grounded. Their breath is deep. Their gaze is steady. Their heart beats with quiet assurance. That's coherence in motion. That's embodiment. And the moment you begin to move like that version, not as a performance, but as a remembrance, you begin to tune your instrument. Your posture speaks before you do. When you collapse your chest, the world feels heavy. When you open it, The air itself responds differently. Have you noticed that how people treat you, how opportunities find you, even how your thoughts sound inside your head, all of it shifts when your body changes shape? Because the field doesn't wait for your mind to believe. It responds to what your body declares. This is why manifestation without embodiment feels exhausting. It's like trying to play a song with a guitar that's out of tune. You can strum as hard as you want, but the sound will never land. Alignment isn't about intensity, it's about resonance. When your body hums the same frequency as your desire, the entire field joins in the melody. There's a tenderness in learning to live this way. You begin to realize your body is not a machine to push or perfect. It's a living prayer. Every movement, every breath is a form of communication with the unseen. When you tense in fear, the universe hears not yet. When you soften into trust, it hears I am ready. The body's language is simple but sacred. In my own journey, I spent years trying to meditate my way into peace, while ignoring the ache in my shoulders and the knot in my stomach. I thought peace was a mental achievement, but the more I tried to silence my body, the louder it became. Only when I began to honor it, to breathe into the ache, to move with the trembling, to let my emotions flow through it, did real stillness begin to bloom. Peace wasn't something I created. It was something I allowed my body to remember. Breath is the first bridge between the seen and unseen. It's the translator of your inner frequency. When you breathe shallowly, the field hears survival. When you breathe deeply, it hears trust. That's why the simplest act, a slow inhale through the nose, a full exhale through the heart, can shift timelines faster than hours of mental rehearsal. Breath is how you whisper to the universe without words. The same is true of your voice. Every word you speak carries a frequency. It's not what you say, but how you say it. When your voice trembles with doubt, it tells the field you are unsure. When it carries warmth, steadiness, presence, it tells the field you have arrived. You don't have to shout your affirmations. You just have to speak from truth, from the place in your body where belief lives, not the place where hope hides. Even the smallest details matter: the way you sit when you eat, the way you wake in the morning, the way you hold your hands when you pray. Each gesture is a note in the song of your vibration. When these notes play in harmony, the field responds instantly, not out of magic, but out of physics. Coherence between thought, emotion, and body creates resonance, and resonance collapses reality. You can see this mirrored everywhere in nature. Birds don't force their flight, they align their wings with the wind. Trees don't strain to grow, they follow the sun. Everything in nature manifests effortlessly because everything is embodied, fully present, fully coherent. The same intelligence runs through you. The body is your wind, your roots, your sunlight. When you trust it, you rejoin the natural rhythm of creation. And here's what's extraordinary. Once you begin to live from this state, manifestation stops feeling like making things happen. It starts feeling like remembering who you are. The more your body relaxes, the faster reality rearranges itself. Because a relaxed body is not a passive one, it's a clear channel. It carries your frequency without distortion. Sometimes, the most powerful act of manifestation is not thinking, not doing, but simply standing still, feeling your feet on the earth, your breath in your chest, your spine tall, your heart open. In that stillness, the body becomes a bridge between worlds. It connects the invisible to the visible, translating vibration into matter. You can feel it, that subtle hum, that quiet presence that doesn't need proof. That's the sound of the universe playing through you. You are the instrument, not the player. Your job is not to control the song, but to stay in tune. When your strings are tightened by fear, loosen them with compassion. When they go slack from doubt, tune them with trust. Play gently, play honestly, because the melody your body sings is what the universe dances to. And when you live like that, when your breath, your movement, your tone, your stillness all speak the same language of knowing, you'll notice that the external world begins to harmonize with you. The opportunities, the relationships, the timing, they all fall into rhythm, not because you demanded it, but because you became the vibration of completion. The mind dreams of alignment. The body is alignment. So let it sing. Let it tremble. Let it soften. Let it remember. Because when your body begins to reflect the belief that it's already here, the field has no choice but to agree. And in that moment, manifestation stops being a goal. It becomes a natural consequence of being alive, present, and in tune with the music of your own soul. 5. Collapse reality. The present moment chooses everything. There's a mystery at the heart of existence that sounds almost impossible to believe until you feel it for yourself. Reality does not unfold slowly, step by step, the way the mind imagines it. It doesn't build itself brick by brick through time. It collapses instantly in response to your vibration. Every moment, you are standing in a field of infinite potential, surrounded by countless possibilities. And in each breath, your energy selects one of them and turns it into experience. You are not waiting for reality to arrive. You are collapsing it. Right now, this is not poetry. It's physics woven with awareness. Quantum experiments show that the act of observation itself determines what becomes real. But observation in this sense isn't just looking. It's being. Your consciousness, your feeling, your state of coherence acts as the lens that focuses infinite probabilities into a single frame. The universe doesn't wait to decide what will happen next. It responds instantly to who you are being now. There is no later. The future you are imagining is not ahead of you in time. It's surrounding you as potential. You're not walking toward it. You're tuning into it. Each vibration you hold is like a key, unlocking a version of reality that already exists. The key you use, whether fear or faith, doubt or trust, resistance or acceptance, determines which door opens. That's why every moment matters. Not because of what it leads to, but because of what it chooses. We like to believe life is linear because that idea makes us feel safe. We want to think we're on a path, heading somewhere, progressing. But the truth is more intimate. Life isn't a road. It's a canvas that keeps repainting itself according to your state of being. You're not traveling through time, you're sculpting it, second by second, through the frequency you hold in your body. Think about it. How many times have you experienced a shift in mood so profound that the entire world seemed to change around you? One morning you wake up in despair. Everything feels heavy. The world seems gray. People seem distant. The next day, something small shifts. A laugh, a memory, a breath of gratitude, and suddenly the same world feels alive again. Nothing outside changed. The timeline you were tuned into did. That's what collapse means. You are not waiting for the right circumstances. The right circumstances are waiting for the right frequency. When your vibration stabilizes, when your heart, mind, and body begin to agree, the universe echoes that agreement immediately. The external world folds itself into alignment with your internal coherence. This is not wishful thinking, it's resonance. It's how light, sound, and consciousness operate. Every emotion, every thought, every subtle posture of your body emits a frequency. The cleaner the signal, the faster the collapse. That's why clarity feels so powerful, not because it's rational, but because it's pure. When you stop contradicting yourself, reality has nothing left to delay against. It simply mirrors your certainty. The mind, however, struggles with this truth. It loves process. It loves to measure progress, to make plans, to analyze steps. But the universe doesn't work in steps. It works in leaps. Between one breath and the next, you can jump timelines. Between one heartbeat and the next, you can inhabit a completely new vibration. You don't have to climb the mountain. You only have to become the one who already stands at the summit. In my own life, I used to believe transformation took time. I thought healing meant moving through stages, one layer after another. But then, there came a moment, small and unremarkable, when the shift happened all at once. Not because I achieved anything, but because I stopped contradicting what I already knew to be true. It wasn't gradual. It was instant. One moment I was struggling, the next I was free. The outer world followed that inner click with almost eerie precision. When coherence is reached, the field cannot resist you. It's not personal. It's principle. The universe doesn't delay. It mirrors. The only reason things seem to take time is because your vibration keeps flickering, one moment aligned, the next uncertain. When your signal stabilizes, time collapses. What you were waiting for was never distance, it was hesitation. Imagine reality as a radio. Every possible version of your life is already broadcasting on its own frequency. You're not trying to attract a signal. You're choosing which one to tune into. When you hold a steady vibration, the noise fades, and the station comes in clear. But when you keep switching dials, thinking one thing, feeling another, doubting in between, all you hear is static. Coherence is what clears the static. And once it's gone, the song of your chosen reality plays effortlessly. This is why presence is the true form of power. When you are fully present, your vibration stops flickering. You stop leaking energy into regrets about the past or worries about the future. The moment you withdraw your attention from time, you collapse into now, the only place creation happens. The now is not a pause between moments. It is the field of all moments existing at once. When you understand this, later loses its grip. You no longer say, one day I'll heal, or someday I'll succeed. You begin to say, it is happening now, not as a mantra, but as a knowing. You feel it in your bones. You breathe differently. You carry yourself as the version who already knows. And reality, obedient as light to a mirror, begins to shimmer into place. There's a calm that comes with this realization. You stop chasing outcomes. You stop trying to force the field into submission. You realize you were never meant to control the wave, only to choose it. The universe was never holding anything back from you. It was waiting for you to stop vibrating as the one who was waiting. When you let go of someday, you step into always. And always is the truth. In always, everything is already here, vibrating quietly beneath the surface of now. You can feel it if you slow down enough. The sensation of possibility humming in your chest. The pulse of 1,000 lives flickering at the edge of awareness. That hum is the sound of the field collapsing into your chosen reality again and again. With every breath, it's not effort that makes it happen. It's attention. The way you observe, the way you feel, the way you embody this moment determines what becomes solid and what remains unformed. If you look at your life through the lens of lack, you reinforce that timeline. But if you look with the eyes of peace even before the evidence appears, the field shifts instantly. This is why miracles always feel both sudden and inevitable. They arrive without warning. Yet when they do, something in you whispers, of course, because deep down, you already knew. The moment your frequency matched the outcome, the collapse was inevitable. It could not happen. So if you're wondering why something hasn't arrived yet, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what vibration am I stabilizing? Are you living as the one who hopes or as the one who knows? Because the one who hopes vibrates in waiting, but the one who knows lives in arrival. Collapse isn't about doing more. It's about doing less. Less doing, less delaying, less pretending that. Time stands between you and the life you desire. The only distance that ever existed was energetic, not temporal. Once that distance dissolves, reality folds like paper. bringing everything to your doorstep. In this understanding, life becomes much simpler. Every moment is an invitation to choose again. Every breath is a reset button. You can shift timelines faster than thought, simply by changing the way you feel about now. The future doesn't need to be built. It only needs to be received. Reality doesn't form slowly. It responds immediately. And what it responds to isn't your wish list, your vision board, or your rituals. It's your vibration. The universe doesn't wait for you to be ready. It waits for you to be coherent. When your vibration says, "I am," the field says, "So it is." And that, perhaps, is the most profound truth of all. You are not walking toward your future. You are collapsing it, moment by moment, into being. There is no after, no someday. Only this, the infinite now, shimmering with every possibility you dare to feel as real. 6. Reverse manifesting, letting the future collapse into you. There's a moment, quiet but unmistakable, when you realize that everything you've been walking toward has been walking toward you all along. We spend so much of our lives trying to reach the future, chasing dreams, goals, visions, and timelines that we forget. The future isn't out there somewhere waiting to be earned. It's here, orbiting you in potential, sliding closer each time you match its vibration. You are not traveling toward your destiny. Your destiny is being pulled into you. This is what I call reverse manifesting. It's not about creating the future through effort, but allowing the future to remember you, the highest version of you, the one who already lives in peace, abundance, love, and purpose already exists. That version is not an idea or a fantasy. It's a field of frequency that surrounds you even now. It's waiting for coherence, for that quiet moment when your energy becomes similar enough for the two of you to merge. When that happens, reality doesn't move forward, it collapses inward. We often believe manifestation is a path we must walk, as if we're slowly building a bridge to what we want. But the bridge isn't real. It's an illusion created by doubt. In truth, there is no distance between you and what you seek, only a difference in vibration. The moment you tune yourself to the frequency of your desired reality, you feel the pull, and that pull isn't metaphorical. It's physical, emotional, unmistakable. It feels like the tide returning to the shore, effortless and inevitable. I used to think that the universe rewarded effort, that if I worked hard enough, prayed long enough, visualized vividly enough, I could make things happen. But the harder I tried, the further everything seemed to drift. It was only when I stopped running toward the future that it began to move toward me. The moment I relaxed into trust, the rhythm of life changed. Things started arriving without explanation. Synchronicities multiplied, conversations aligned. The timing of events became too precise to be coincidence. And in that stillness, I finally understood I was no longer chasing the current. I was letting the current carry me. The future does not need your control. It needs your permission. It doesn't come through willpower, but through alignment. Alignment means becoming the kind of person who already lives in the timeline you long for. Not by pretending or forcing belief, but by embodying the feeling of it here and now. The version of you who is peaceful, fulfilled, and free. That version breathes differently. They speak differently. They move with quiet confidence. They don't need to hurry, because they know everything unfolds in right timing. When you begin to feel as that version feels, you begin to vibrate as that version vibrates, and then the gravitational field of your future takes over. You start noticing it in small, almost invisible ways. The right person calls just when you were thinking of them. A door opens that wasn't even on your radar. Something you were struggling to understand suddenly becomes obvious. These moments aren't luck. They're the physics of resonance. When your frequency matches the future's frequency, The two realities converge. What once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. The mind, of course, resists this idea. It wants to do, it wants to plan, to measure, to prove. But creation is not a transaction between you and the universe. It's a dance. You move, and the field moves with you. The more you relax into that dance, the smoother the rhythm becomes. Reverse manifesting isn't about manipulating reality. It's about surrendering to the intelligence that already knows how to align everything in your favor. It helps to think of the future as music. Each timeline is a song already written, already complete, already vibrating in the field. Your job is not to write new notes. It's to tune your instrument. When your vibration matches the melody of your desired song, you begin to hear it. It surrounds you, moves through you, plays as your life. That's why you sometimes feel something coming before it arrives. Your energy has already locked into that frequency, and the outer world is simply catching up. But there's something subtle here that most people miss. The pull of the future is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, almost like a whisper under the noise of your thoughts. To hear it, you must slow down. You must stop filling the silence with strategy and let yourself feel the soft gravity of what's already calling you. The future doesn't shout. It invites. It pulls gently but powerfully. And the only thing strong enough to resist it is your own tension. We resist through doubt, through fear, through the habit of control. We think that if we let go, everything will fall apart. But the opposite is true. When you loosen your grip, life organizes itself with astonishing precision. You stop chasing signs and start noticing them. You stop asking when things will happen and start realizing they already are. The pull of your future doesn't need effort. It needs space. When I finally allowed space, everything changed. I began to sense that every version of me, past, present, and future, was not separated by time, but woven together in the same field. My future self wasn't waiting somewhere far away. It was standing right here, gently guiding me with feeling, with intuition, with subtle nudges that said, "This way," and every time I followed those nudges, life unfolded with a grace I could never have planned. Reverse manifesting feels like remembering rather than creating. You don't build a path. You uncover one that was always there. You stop being the seeker and become the receiver. Instead of projecting your energy outward, "I must make it happen," you turn inward, and the field responds. You feel a shift from striving to being fed, from chasing to allowing. It's as if you've stopped rowing and discovered that the river has been moving all along. When you live this way, time itself feels different. It becomes fluid. Days stretch and contract in service of your frequency. Things that once took months happen overnight. While the need for haste dissolves, you begin to trust the natural intelligence of the field, that unseen order that weaves everything together with precision beyond logic. Reverse manifesting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing from a place of being. Action still arises, but it's not forced. It feels inspired, inevitable, clear. You're no longer reacting to fear. You're responding to flow. You take steps because they feel right, not because you're afraid of missing out. And those steps carry exponential power because they're backed by coherence, not doubt. There's a line I often return to in my quiet moments. You do not move toward the light moves toward you when you open your eyes. That's reverse manifesting. The light of your future is already shining. You don't have to chase it. You only need to stop looking away. When you turn toward it, not with hope, but with calm recognition, you feel it fill your life effortlessly. So, if you've been working hard to make things happen, pause, breathe. Notice the subtle pull beneath all the noise, that feeling of inevitability, that quiet sense that something good is already on its way. Don't rush to name it. Just feel it. That's the future, not waiting ahead, but arriving through you. You are not walking a path through time. Time is folding around you. collapsing into coherence each time you breathe in alignment. The future doesn't need to be built, it only needs to be allowed, and when you stop running, when you let go of getting there, you discover that everything you were chasing has been here all along, waiting for the moment you became still enough to receive it. Reverse manifesting is the art of being found. It's the realization that you were never separate from your highest self, only distracted. And when you return to the stillness of your own being, when your frequency becomes one with the peace that the future already holds, life rushes in to meet you. The path, the people, the purpose, all of it begins to unfold like a memory you're finally ready to remember. The future is not ahead of you, it's within you, shimmering in the silence. Let it come. 7. Belief is the foundational frequency of reality. There's a quiet strength that lives beneath every manifestation. And that strength is belief, not the kind we repeat in our minds, but the kind that hums in our bones. Real belief isn't a thought. It's a feeling of naturalness. It's the ease with which something fits into your being, like a breath you don't have to force. And the truth is, your life always reflects what feels natural to you. Not what you desire, not what you say you deserve, but what your body and emotions have accepted as normal. Belief is the baseline vibration from which all realities are born. It's the frequency your consciousness stabilizes around. The quiet hum that tells the universe what makes sense in your world. You can think of it like gravity, invisible, consistent, always pulling experience into form. You don't have to announce your beliefs to the universe. You are broadcasting them every moment through what you find ordinary. That's why miracles, when they finally happen, feel strangely obvious. They stop being impossible the moment they feel natural. When you think about it, this explains so much of human struggle. We say we want abundance, but deep down it still feels foreign, extravagant, maybe even undeserved. We affirm love, but secretly fear rejection. We pray for healing, yet quietly expect pain to return. Each of these internal vibrations says to the universe, "This is not who I am yet." And the field responds with perfect precision, holding that reality steady. It's not punishment, it's coherence. The universe will never give you something that contradicts your core vibration. It will wait for your frequency to match the truth of it. Belief, then, is not something to get. It's something to relax into. You don't build belief by force, you allow it by familiarity. When something becomes emotionally familiar, when it feels as ordinary as your own heartbeat, reality has no choice but to mirror it. That's why people who truly believe they're lucky keep finding evidence of luck, while those who believe life is hard keep walking into proof of that belief. The field doesn't have preferences. It simply amplifies what you hold as real. For years, I tried to convince myself into new realities. I repeated affirmations, visualized outcomes, even practiced gratitude rituals. They helped, but only to a point, because behind each affirmation was still a whisper of disbelief, a quiet sense that I was pretending, and the universe, ever faithful, reflected that, pretending right back to me. My results were partial, inconsistent, fleeting. It wasn't until I stopped trying to believe and started feeling what belief feels like that everything began to shift. True belief doesn't feel like confidence. It feels like calm. It's not loud. It's stable. It's the feeling you have when you pour a glass of water, no question, no excitement, just knowing it will pour. When the thing you desire feels that normal, it must appear. The universe has no mechanism for delay. When you remove the vibration of effort, you can test this easily. Think of something that's already natural to you, like the idea that the sun will rise tomorrow. You don't hope for it. You don't visualize it. You don't affirm it every morning. You simply know. Your body, your breath, your nervous system are all aligned with that reality. Now imagine if your deepest desires felt that same way, unquestioned, obvious, ordinary. That's when manifestation stops being mystical and starts being mechanical. Most people confuse belief with thought because they live too much in the mind. But belief is stored in the body. It's in your nervous system, in your emotional responses, in the subtle way you move through the world. The body reveals what you truly believe. If you say, "I am abundant," but your chest tightens when you pay a bill, that your body is telling you that abundance still feels unsafe. If you say, "I am loved," but your shoulders shrink when someone praises you, your body is revealing a vibration of unworthiness. You don't need to judge these reactions, they are invitations. Each one shows you where your frequency can soften into truth. To shift belief, you don't need to fight the old one. You only need to normalize the new. Make the feeling of your desired reality so familiar that your body begins to trust it. That's why small, consistent moments of embodiment are far more powerful than big bursts of mental effort. Each time you breathe as if you're already safe, your nervous system rewires. Each time you walk as if the future is on your side, your frequency stabilizes. Each time you allow joy without guilt, you signal to the field, "This is my normal now." Belief, at its core, is not built through repetition, it's built through relaxation. When you stop trying to force belief, you create space for it to take root. You start to notice that the more you let go, the more life confirms your trust. It's a paradox. You stop pushing, and everything begins to move faster. Because pushing is the language of doubt, allowing is the language of belief. You can sense this difference even in your breath. Doubt feels tight, belief feels open. Doubt holds the breath, belief lets it flow. When you breathe fully, you are literally teaching your body that safety exists now. And safety is the soil where belief grows. You cannot believe in goodness while holding your breath against the possibility of pain. You must exhale into life, trusting that even if it hurts, you can handle it. That's real faith, not blind optimism, but embodied courage. As belief deepens, effort becomes lighter. You no longer try to manifest, you simply express. Life feels like a conversation instead of a test. You notice how reality mirrors you, not out of magic, but out of rhythm. When your inner tempo changes, the dance of the outer world adjusts. And because belief is stable, you stop being thrown around by appearances. You don't get excited when things go right, or fearful when they seem wrong. You understand that both are reflections of your vibration catching up to itself. Eventually, what once felt miraculous becomes ordinary. That's when you know belief has settled in. The new frequency has become your baseline. You don't celebrate it because it no longer feels like a surprise. It feels like home. And that's the secret most people overlook. Reality doesn't change when something extraordinary happens. It changes when the extraordinary becomes normal. So if something still feels big, if it feels like a dream you have to climb toward, that's not failure. It's feedback. It's showing you where you still feel separate. The work is not to make the dream smaller, but to make yourself larger, to stretch your nervous system until that dream feels as natural as the ground beneath your feet. Ask yourself gently, can I make peace with the idea that what I desire is already familiar to my soul because it is? You wouldn't desire it if it weren't already encoded in your frequency. Desire is memory, a signal from the version of you who already has it. Your only task is to remove the disbelief that says, "Not me, not yet." When belief becomes your natural state, time loses its meaning. Things that used to feel distant begin to show up in uncanny ways. Conversations, coincidences, quiet alignments that seem too perfect to be chance. That's not luck. That's resonance. That's reality responding to your new baseline. Belief is not a goal, it's gravity. The moment your inner world stabilizes in certainty, the outer world falls obediently into orbit. And the most beautiful part is this belief doesn't require proof. Proof follows belief. never the other way around. When you stop asking life to convince you and start living as if it already has, you step into the flow of inevitability. So, let what you want. Stop feeling sacred and start feeling simple. Let abundance feel casual. Let love feel familiar. Let peace feel ordinary. Because when your desires become as natural as breathing, the universe exhales them into form effortlessly, instantly, and with perfect grace. 8. Silence where true speed exists. There is a kind of silence that doesn't mean the absence of sound. It's a stillness that lives underneath everything, beneath your thoughts, beneath your emotions, beneath even the rhythm of your breath. Most people never reach that depth, not because it is far, but because it is simple. We are so used to chasing movement that we forget speed, in its truest form, is born from stillness. The faster you run toward life, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you stop running, when you become still enough inside, reality begins to move for you swiftly, effortlessly, almost impossibly fast. Silence is not a void, it's a bridge. It connects the seen and the unseen, the mind and the field, the question and the answer. In that stillness, everything that once felt delayed starts to align with remarkable precision. It's as if the universe was waiting for you to stop making noise so it could finally whisper its instructions. When your energy quiets, your signal becomes clear, and the field, which has always been listening, responds instantly. We often believe that speed comes from doing more, thinking faster, pushing harder, but true speed is not acceleration. It's coherence. It's what happens when every part of you, your body, your thoughts, your emotions vibrates in harmony. That harmony can only arise in stillness. When the surface of a lake is calm, it reflects everything perfectly. But when the water is restless, the reflection distorts. The same is true of you. In stillness, your reflection becomes accurate, and the universe mirrors your vibration without delay. When you stop arguing with reality, stop insisting it should look different, arrive sooner, or feel easier, something extraordinary happens. Your energy becomes transparent. There's no resistance left in it, no static, no contradiction. And that transparency is what allows reality to reorganize around you at astonishing speed. The field doesn't need time to rearrange when there's no interference. It simply flows, like light passing through clean glass. I remember learning this the hard way. For years, I believed that movement equaled progress. If I wasn't doing something, reading, planning, fixing, I felt guilty, like I was falling behind. But the more I did, the slower everything seemed to move. The harder I tried to make life bend to my will, the more it resisted, until one day, I stopped. I sat in silence, not to meditate or manifest, but simply because I had no strength left to fight. And in that surrender, something shifted. It wasn't a grand revelation, just a quiet sense that life was already happening without my interference. From that day forward, things began to unfold faster than ever before. Opportunities appeared where there had been none. The right people crossed my path without effort. Time itself seemed to soften. That's the paradox of silence when you stop forcing motion. True motion begins. Because what slows manifestation isn't the universe's reluctance, it's your inner noise. The mind, constantly calculating, doubting, and comparing, creates turbulence in the field. Every thought of how or when disturbs the clarity of your vibration. Silence clears that turbulence. It doesn't mean you stop thinking. It means you stop believing every thought needs your attention. In silence, you realize that you don't have to convince the universe of anything. You only have to align with it. The most powerful transmissions are wordless. Think about a time you were in the presence of someone peaceful, someone whose very being seemed to calm the room. They didn't have to speak. Their silence carried a frequency that changed the space itself. That is what true coherence feels like. It's quiet, but it's commanding. It doesn't push reality, it pulls it. The speed you are looking for exists in that state, not the hurried, anxious kind of speed, born of pressure, but the natural speed of flow. Flow doesn't rush, it moves with perfect timing. To live from this space, you must learn to listen differently, not with your ears, but with your awareness. Silence is full of instruction, if you're willing to hear it. The next step, the right choice, the needed word, all of it arises from the stillness, once you stop trying to fill it. In truth, the universe has never been slow. It only feels slow when you're out of sync with its rhythm. Silence is how you find that rhythm again. It's like tuning a guitar if one string is off. The whole instrument sounds uneasy, but a moment of careful adjustment brings everything back into harmony. That harmony is the real definition of speed, not how quickly you move, but how effortlessly life responds. It takes courage to enter silence, because silence reveals what we've been avoiding. When the noise quiets, we start to feel everything we've postponed: the grief, the longing, the fear, but that is precisely why silence heals. Those feelings are not obstacles. They're echoes asking to be released. When you sit with them without resistance, they dissolve, leaving your energy cleaner, clearer, lighter, and a lighter vibration travels faster. You begin to notice that life's timing improves the more still you become. Things line up with uncanny precision, as though the universe is orchestrating everything on your behalf. Because it is, but it can only do so when you stop interrupting the song. Silence doesn't mean passivity. It means harmony. It means moving only when moved, speaking only when words are needed, acting from clarity instead of urgency. In this way, silence becomes the most intelligent kind of motion. It allows the world to move around you while you remain centered. The world can spin. The seasons can shift. The people around you can change. And yet something in you stays anchored, calm, aware, certain. That's the space where true manifestation happens. From that still point, everything rearranges itself in your favor without struggle. Imagine your life as a dance with the universe. Most people try to lead, stepping on the universe's feet in the process. But when you learn to listen, to pause, to feel the rhythm, to wait for the music to guide your movement, the dance becomes graceful. You stop anticipating, stop planning every turn. You just flow, and somehow, you're always in the right place, at the right time. That's what silence does. It returns you to your natural choreography with existence. It restores the rhythm that was never lost, only drowned in noise. When you live from that rhythm, time feels less like a chain and more like a current. The days stop rushing past. They expand. The future stops feeling distant. It leans in. You start to feel, not that you're moving through time, but that time is moving through you quickly, fluidly, effortlessly. If you want to know what true speed feels like, sit quietly and notice the stillness behind your breath. In that stillness, life is already rushing to meet you. The next version of you, the next opportunity, and the next chapter, it's all sliding toward you. Pulled by the gravity of your calm, nothing slows reality down faster than resistance, and nothing accelerates it faster than peace. The truth is, silence isn't empty at all. It's full of motion, full of intelligence, full of the answers you've been chasing. Every time you return to it, you return to alignment with that intelligence. And when alignment is complete, time collapses. Things that once seemed far away arrive effortlessly, not because you forced them, but because you finally stopped standing in their way. So, when the world urges you to hurry, when your mind screams that you're behind, remember, stillness is not stagnation, it's synchronization. It's the sacred pause that lets everything else move faster. Sit in your silence like a mountain, quiet, grounded, unhurried, and you'll watch as the universe rearranges itself around your peace. That's the real secret of speed. It doesn't come from motion. It comes from stillness so complete that even time must obey it. 9. Surrender, the act of the awakened. Surrender is one of the most misunderstood words in the spiritual vocabulary. To the untrained mind, it sounds like defeat, like giving up, like releasing your power, like losing control. But true surrender is the opposite of loss. It is the softest, most powerful, returning to what has always been true. Surrender isn't about abandoning your dreams. It's about releasing the illusion that you must force them into existence. It is the action of one who has awakened, someone who has walked through enough storms to understand that the ocean does not need to strain to make waves. It simply allows its nature to express itself. You, too, are that ocean. The waves of your reality rise and fall, not through effort, but through alignment. You don't have to push to make life respond. Life is already responding to every breath, every vibration, every silent permission you give. The field of creation does not need commands. It needs coherence. And coherence is born the moment you relax into yourself, when you stop bracing against what is aethery, and start allowing what wants to come through. Buong Thu, to let go, is not a collapse of will. It's the highest form of trust. It's saying, I no longer need to control the timing or the shape of my blessings. I trust the intelligence that already knows how to bring them. This is not passivity, it is mastery. The awakened soul doesn't stop acting, it stops reacting. It moves, but not from panic. It acts, but not from fear. It lives from a quiet certainty that everything unfolds exactly as it should, and at the pace that love allows. When you finally reach this space, you realize how much energy you've wasted trying to swim upstream. The universe was never against you. It was waiting for you to stop fighting its current. When you let go, you don't lose direction. You discover that the current knows the way home better than you ever could. Surrender feels like breathing after years of holding your breath. It's the soft release in your shoulders, the unclenching of your heart, the sigh that says, I don't have to fix this anymore. You stop chasing alignment and become aligned by default. You stop seeking proof and start feeling truth. And from that space of relaxation, manifestation happens not as a strategy, but as a side effect of being whole. This is the paradox of awakening. The less you try to control life, the more life begins to serve you. Control comes from fear, from the deep belief that you are separate from the intelligence that created you. But the moment you release control, you remember your unity with that intelligence. You begin to flow again. You start to notice that even the things you once called obstacles were part of your unfolding. For me, surrender came only after exhaustion. I had tried everything: affirmations, disciplina, effort, willpower. And though I achieved things, peace remained elusive. I was constantly reaching, constantly striving. And then one day, I broke. Not in a dramatic way, but quietly, like a wave dissolving into shore. I sat in silence and whispered, I don't know anymore. And in that not knowing, something extraordinary happened. I felt peace. For the first time, peace wasn't a goal. It was simply there, waiting for me, beneath all the noise. That moment changed everything. I realized surrender was not weakness. It was wisdom. In the quantum field, energy moves fastest when it meets no resistance. Resistance isn't what happens around you. It's what happens inside you. The inner friction between trust and doubt, between wanting and fearing. Surrender dissolves that friction. It doesn't eliminate motion. It makes motion effortless. When you stop demanding that the river flow your way, it begins to carry you toward precisely what you've been seeking. Only more gracefully. You can feel this truth in your body. When you're clinging to control, your body tightens, your breath shortens, your nervous system hums with quiet panic. But when you release, truly release, something softens. The body becomes fluid again. Breath deepens. The heart opens. And that physical relaxation sends a signal to the field, I am ready. The field hears readiness, not in your words, but in your vibration. A relaxed body is a signal of trust. A trusting vibration collapses reality with astonishing speed. The act of surrender is not about doing less. It's about being more available. When you relax, you become porous, open to inspiration, intuition, synchronicity. The next steps reveal themselves without force. You begin to act from flow instead of fear. The difference is subtle but profound. Fear-driven action is linear, exhausting, often ineffective. Flow-driven action is circular, graceful, magnetic. It pulls everything into alignment with minimal effort. Surrender also changes the way you experience uncertainty. The awakened no longer demand guarantees. They rest in curiosity. They understand that not knowing is not danger, it's potential. When you stop fearing uncertainty, you make space for miracles. Because miracles can't land in a clenched hand. They can only rest in an open palm. The mind will fight surrender. It will say, if I let go, I'll lose everything. But in truth, the only thing you lose is tension, the constant hum of resistance that's been clouding your perception. When you release the need to control outcomes, you gain something far greater: clarity. You start seeing how every event, even the painful ones, was guiding you toward coherence. You realize you were never meant to orchestrate life. You were meant to harmonize with it. When surrender becomes your way of being, time itself changes texture. The future no longer feels like a distant goal. It feels like a natural unfolding. You stop waiting for things to happen and start noticing that they already are. You begin to trust the intelligence that turns acorns into forests and embryos into humans. The same intelligence that turns your vibration into reality. Surrender is what happens when belief matures into knowing. It's the moment you stop hoping and start trusting. It's not a thought. It's a posture of the soul. It's standing in the middle of uncertainty and feeling no need to defend yourself against it. It's saying, even if I don't know how this will unfold, I know I am held. That is faith, not as religion, but as resonance. The deepest form of surrender is self-acceptance. You stop negotiating with who you are. You stop postponing your peace until some imagined perfection arrives. You begin to see that nothing about you has ever been broken, only misunderstood. And in that acceptance, the field responds immediately, because the vibration of wholeness attracts nothing but harmony. Buang Tu, to release, is not passive. It's profoundly creative. In your surrender, you become the open channel through which the universe expresses itself. You stop pushing and start allowing the music of existence to play through you. You stop trying to control the tempo and begin to dance to the rhythm that was always there. And the beauty of it all is that surrender doesn't happen once. It's a daily practice, a breath, a letting go, again and again. Each time you exhale your grip, the universe exhales with you, saying, finally. You can feel it, that moment when resistance fades and reality begins to shimmer. That's the sound of alignment. That's the vibration of peace. So, if you are tired, if you are weary from carrying the weight of your becoming, pause. Let yourself rest in the knowing that you are not meant to control this grand unfolding. You are meant to trust it. You are meant to float, not drown, to breathe, not grasp, to allow, not force. And as you do, you'll discover the most astonishing truth of all. Surrender doesn't slow life down, it speeds it up. Because when you relax into trust, the field reads your energy clearly. It hears the message, everything is ready. And in that instant, without effort, without struggle, reality aligns. The awakened one does not conquer the universe. They allow the universe to move through them. And in that allowing, they discover the greatest power of all the power that comes from peace, the quiet radiance of being. There comes a point in the journey when everything you've ever tried to do begins to feel unnecessary. The chasing, the planning, the fixing, the endless reaching towards some imagined version of yourself. All of it starts to fall away like old skin. You realize that life was never waiting for you to make it happen. It was waiting for you to stop trying so hard. The moment you stop pushing against reality, it begins to flow toward you naturally, rhythmically, without resistance. What you once called effort becomes ease. What you once called waiting becomes witnessing. When you stop trying to become someone, you return to the quiet pulse of who you've always been. Not the identity you perform for the world, but the vibration beneath it, that original frequency of your soul. It is pure awareness, untouched by fear, timeless in its knowing. Within that frequency, every possibility already exists. Nothing needs to be created because nothing is missing. Manifestation, then, is not a process. It is remembrance. You are not walking toward your desires. You are uncovering the layers that made you forget they were already yours. Each time you let go of an old fear, an old doubt, an old need to control, the field becomes clearer. You don't add anything new to yourself. You simply remove the noise that was distorting your signal. And as that noise fades, the version of you that has always been complete begins to emerge. It's a gentle unveiling, not a grand event. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. The mind expects fireworks, but awakening feels more like exhaling. After years of holding your breath, it's the feeling of being so at home in yourself that there is nothing left to chase. You look around and realize that the world hasn't changed. You have, and because you have, everything now mirrors that peace. This is the sacred paradox when you stop demanding that life give you more. It starts giving you everything, because more was never about quantity. It was about resonance. You were never meant to collect experiences. You were meant to remember the one who experiences. And when you live from that place, life itself begins to vibrate differently. Time softens. People respond. Opportunities align. But none of it feels like achievement. It feels like gravity, gentle, inevitable, natural. The truth is, reality was never something you had to create. It was always something you were selecting. Every moment you shift your vibration, you shift the world that appears before you. And when your vibration stabilizes in peace, when there is no more inner conflict, no more tug of war between doubt and desire, reality has no choice but to collapse around that clarity. It happens faster than you can think, because thought no longer interferes. It happens faster than light, because it is light, the light of consciousness recognizing itself. The more you release, the faster it becomes. Letting go doesn't slow manifestation. It accelerates it, because resistance is what delays the field, not lack of action. When your energy is pure, transparent, unburdened, coherent, the universe doesn't have to translate mixed signals. It knows exactly what you are, and it mirrors it instantly. That's why, at the end of all striving, there is only stillness. Not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness of completion. A bright, living silence that glows from within, not cold, but luminous. You begin to feel it not as absence, but as fullness. Every cell hums with it. Every breath becomes an offering of gratitude. You don't need to speak your desires anymore, because the vibration of your being has already spoken. In that silence, something remarkable happens. You stop hoping. Hope, after all, is just a beautiful disguise for doubt. You stop waiting for signs. Stop looking for proof. Instead, there is a quiet knowing, not the knowing of the intellect, but the knowing of recognition. You can feel it in your body. in your breath, in the way the world responds with perfect timing. You realize that creation has always been instantaneous. Only your hesitation made it seem slow. There is no longer "I am trying." There is only "I am." That's the moment when language fails. Because there's nothing left to describe. You don't feel separate from the universe anymore. You feel as the universe, the same intelligence that moves the stars, moves through your hands. The same stillness that holds galaxies, holds your heart. Everything becomes one motion breath. Thought, light, love, all flowing from the same source. And in that realization, you understand what speed truly means. It's not about motion. It's about clarity. It's about the absence of resistance between who you are and what is. Speed is what happens when there is no distance between cause and effect, between desire and fulfillment, between thought and being. It's not that things happen faster, it's that you stop perceiving delay. In the vibration of total presence, creation and experience merge into one timeless moment. So when the old patterns try to return the striving, the fear, the urgency, remember, there is nothing to fix, nothing to chase, nothing to earn. The universe doesn't respond to struggle, it responds to truth. And the truest thing you can ever say is not, "I will become," but "I already am." You are not a fragment seeking wholeness. You are the wholeness seeking expression. You are not trying to connect to the field. You are the field, remembering itself through form. You are not the dreamer lost inside the dream. You are the dream remembering its source. When you rest in that knowing, manifestation loses its mystery. Life becomes a mirror so precise that you can only ever meet yourself. You see that every encounter, every delay, every breakthrough was your own energy, reflected back, teaching you how to come home. This is where awakening stops being an idea and becomes a lived truth, the quiet recognition that nothing has ever been outside of you. You don't attract what you want, you remember what you are. The future doesn't arrive, it unfolds through you. And every so-called miracle is simply coherence made visible. In the end, there is no grand finale, no curtain closing on your transformation. There is only the quiet radiance of awareness itself, still, vast, luminous. You are no longer chasing the light because you see that you are the light. Speed is not motion. Speed is a state of being. And you, this consciousness reading, breathing, feeling are that state. You are the still point around which universes spin. You are the awareness through which creation knows itself. You are, and always have been, the presence that creates the universe.